Hey, it would help if I plugged my mic in, eh? Uh, so, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics today. And while everybody's talking about more shredding and alternate skipping and string muting and all these crazy technical things, the one thing that's not being talked about is musicianship, musicality, articulation, dynamics. And a lot of people play on high gain tones. I love my high gain tones. There's a place for them, but high gain tones can also, and humbuckers as well, can take away a lot from articulation and everything. I'm just going to double check my mic's all good real quick. Okay, looks and sounds good. So what we're going to do today on the stream is I'm going to play a little song for you called Shades of Hope as best as I can. Haven't gone through memorization practice on it in a while. And we got new strings on. I was on NHS because that's what the tech put on. He didn't have any Diodario in stock, and now I'm on Diodario, and they feel a lot thinner and lighter, so bends might be a little bit funny. But I'm going to play through this song, and I want you to hear and watch how I do pickup switching and how I articulate things, and especially how I roll the volume knob up. And I want to point something out that's very crucial before we hop into this little demo. And that is that the volume knob should not be thought of as the volume knob. What this really is this is a gain knob, okay? And evidence of that is I'm running a somewhat high gain sound right now. And if I just roll this up just a little bit, just a smidge, there's not a lot of distortion on that sound. Now if I roll it all the way up, there's a lot more of that grit in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that sound again, and then I'm going to pop over to my pedal board, and I'm going to take my volume pedal, which is a true volume pedal, and I'm going to put it halfway down. And you're going to hear that the tonal quality, whether that volume knob is 100% down or in the middle or anywhere else in between, the tonal control is the same, which is where you want it in the signal chain if you want this kind of effect. So here's the sound, and then I'm going to pop over there. And let's make sure I'm not going to roll over my cord. I'll just stand up. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to do volume halfway down. And now I'm going to roll the volume down just a touch, and I'm also going to keep that half volume, and you can hear the difference again. So here we are, just rolled up just a smidge. So, case in point, don't think of your, quote, volume knob like a volume knob. It's more like a gain knob. And when you're playing, that's very important because that's going to affect the tonal sound that you get. Now, with that out of the way, let's hop into this little demo and see how well I remember the song. All right. All right, I think all the audio went good. Let's talk about it. That's a really cool song. I like that song a lot. It's very simple. It's very unorthodox for electric guitar. So, first things first, when I think about that song, when you think about any song, you want to think about what you're saying. And I don't have a specific thing I'm saying with that song, no specific story, nothing crazy like that. I just think it's sweet. It's like a poem you send to a lover, you know, it's sweet. But from a technical standpoint, there's a couple of things I'm doing. Number one, starting on the neck pickup. It's got a lot less aggressive sound. Versus the bridge pickup. Next thing is, when I start that song, there's an arc to the, really the climax of the song is, that's really our peak moment there. And so I start the song pretty darn low on the gain knob, if you will. I mean, I started, frankly, on that recording, I started a little too low. I mean, it was like, puh, barely spoke. You know. So that's one thing, is have that journey from the very beginning to the top of the song be one from, you know, very quiet to loud. And that'll help you create some additional contrast. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the articulation. And there's different strength that you can hit each of these notes with. So if you're following along with my videos, and especially like the how to hold a pick one, there's one update to that video that I need to profess a lot, and that is to keep your thumb straight. See how all my joints are in a line? My wonderful teacher Alex taught me that. And it'll give you a flatter pick angle. It'll put the pick angle not at like 45 degrees. It'll put it more at 22.5. Maybe it's flatter than that, but it's going to give you a lot more punch on the articulation. And if you're following along with that kind of teaching, then how hard you hit the string is really going to come from how hard do you pinch the pick, which is just going to be this muscle right in between your thumb and your index finger. So all I'm going to do, and I believe I demoed it in that video, is I'm just going to move my pick back and forth like this. I'm going to turn delay off real quick. All I'm going to do is I'm going to move my pick back and forth, and I'm just going to change how hard I'm pinching the pick. And you can hear a really big difference in the sound. So with this one, we're combining two things. We're just rolling the gain knob up just a little bit, and then we're not hitting very hard. Versus. So that's a really big thing, is how hard are you going to hit all of these articulations? The next thing is all the little slides and the timing of the notes, right? Because I can play a bend that's like, or I can play a bend that's like, and you can really juice it, right? So with each of these little, I wouldn't say I'm not going, because someone who's just reading notes or tabs might honestly play like that, right? But I'm choosing to slide. And you got to hear the notes in between there. At least on this particular side, I'm not going. It's the timing of the slide that really counts. Now we're also doing a little bit of vibrato in there. Add that in as you will. And so the slides and all the timing of things. Speaking of timing and slides, let's go to this little moment right here. Because that's got articulation and slides in it. That first note is not. It's kind of like a little palm mute kind of thing. And then there's just a really nice confident slide up to that A. I could play all that in, classical position, But there's a totally different meaning when you go outside of that. And, I was playing most of that with, like, my first and second fingers. So that's another really important thing, is the timing of the slides and the little articulations that you can add in there. It's kind of like, I'm scared to say I love you, but I'm going to say it anyways. That's what I think of whenever I have that kind of articulation in there. The next thing that I think about when it comes to playing musically is vibrato. And if you listen to a good singer, you're going to notice that they don't just go right away with like a really wide, fastest possible vibrato. They warm the note up. They go, da, and then they get faster as they go through the note. We can do the same thing on guitar, right? So I'm going to pop the delay back on so I get a little more kind of sustain. Okay, so that's a good note for us to practice on. And then you can even do that really emotional thing. I think Guthrie does it sometimes, where like the note dies, but then you move it enough to where it can speak again. Now I want to talk about one other trick I haven't seen anybody talk about, and I don't know, it's not really palm muting, that's not what we're doing. But if the string is ringing and you go from not just the middle of the strings, but from the edge of the bridge right here, and you slowly bring your hand on, then what it causes is you can control the time that it takes for a note to fade out. Instead of cutting it off, or instead of waiting for it to die out naturally. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just hold the guitar right here. So, let's go. That was a little fast. Gone. We'll do one more. A little fast. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Gone. The delay was holding that one out. But that's another really big trick, and I kind of used that when we got to this section. Because I need that to die out a little bit so that there's space for the... Now, the next thing with that brings me to my next point, is you can alter the timing and add a little bit of space to these things. So I'll play that again, and watch how I kind of wait before I play that F, and even before I bend into it. So that's another thing that you can play with, is not just how hard are you going to hit it, what pickup are you going to be on, we'll get to pickups next, what level of gain are you going to be at, but you can play with the timing a little bit, and not just like hitting the note late or hitting the note early. Most people are going to hit it on time or late. That's what sounds good. Hitting it early never sounds really good. And but you can mess with how that space is perceived based on the amount of silence that you give before you play the note. So, with that said, let's talk about pickup switching, because that's really important. So, pickup switching is where maybe we play a note, and you hear how there's that tone that's very round. But if I pop over to my neck pickup, then all of a sudden it sounds very intense. That's neck pickup. Here's bridge pickup. There's just a little more heat on that last note. It's a D. And that's another very effective pickup strategy. It's another very effective strategy. Like if I play like the On the Backs of Angels solo, let me switch my delay timing. So if I pop over to that solo, that one's pretty much all neck. So anytime that you have, and this comes up a lot in like Petrucci style solos, where there's a note that is played, and it's just a great strategy in general, where you play a note and then you play, you know, a fret, 1 or 2 frets below it, and then you bend up into it. And a lot of times on that second note, that's when you can throw in the bridge pickup, and it'll sound really great. So if I just play through, like, I do quite a bit of pickup switching in this one, like the Repentance solo, which is a little slower, and it'll pop on like 80. So there I am using some of that palm muting as I play. There's that repeated note and the bend. There's some more palm muting, and right there on that B, that's right when I do my pickup switch from the bridge to the neck. And maybe some more of you guys are familiar with that one, so I'll play through it real quick because I like playing it a lot. And so we'll go. I should have the solo backing track. Let's see. Nope, that's me. Give me just a second here. Okay, so watch again how I flip through the pickup switches. Watch how I use those palm mutes. Watch how I time my slides and everything. I'm going to unplug the mic so you don't get it double, and then we'll go through it.
You're saved. Until that.
So I really hope you're starting to see how all these little tricks add up together to give a lot more compelling performance than just solely playing the right notes. This is really, really important stuff that sets apart the pros from the amateurs, frankly. So let's do one more example. Let's work on like the Octavarium solo. That's another good one that I know. And of course, if you guys have questions, you can always post them in the chat, and we will go through them. Pop back over that window. We don't have so many people on today. Now, one of the other tricks that I want to show you is called a slip and my teacher Alex Campbell turned me on to this with this insane etude he has called the Jazz Arpeggiator, and I'm working on it. I played it on 6 string, but it's much harder to do on 7 string. Some of the skips are just insane. It kind of goes like this. It's really crazy. So, but there comes a part in that little etude. Sorry, it's at the end. My bad. That's how it ends. Now the trick that's called a slip is this little guy right here. So we're starting on one note, and we're sliding up and then down to the next note. So that's another little thing that you can add in, and it's something that I actually really like to do in this octavarium solo. I'm going to try to remember where I do it. Yeah, it's right there. So you can also just hammer on a note above. You know, you could do, you know, depending on how far you go, it's going to have a different sound and effect, right? Yeah, so let's go through the pickup switching in that one. So I'll play it. I'll try to play it. I haven't worked on it in a minute, but we can get through it pretty good. So I'm happy to share with you guys. Lick 99. All right. BT, and I need my delay on. That'd be helpful. Yeah. All righty. Here we go. So you get the idea. We're combining some slips, some slides, and some pickup switching, and you get a much more dramatic sound than if you just play the notes that are on the page. So as you're going through this week and playing music like you do, working on your own solos, look for spots where you can add in the extra drama. It makes music a lot more fun and interesting to listen to. So that's all I got for today on teaching articulations, dynamics, how to play musically. I'm going to check my notes real quick, and then I'll check for questions. And if there's no questions, then we'll call this one wrapped up, and have a great week. All right, let's check. So, all right. Well, I goofed up, and I didn't schedule this live very well. I don't think I posted about it either. So, to those who watch in the future, I hope this is helpful. Hit subscribe. That really helps me out. And we're going to be making some more videos, doing some more lives. So if you have questions, you're always welcome to drop them in the comments or on any of the posts I do. Right now, it's at the volume where I can read all of them. Hopefully one day, maybe, for better or worse, I can't read all of them. And that means that we're successful, I guess. So, yeah, well, I'm going to go enjoy these new strings and hang out and practice. And if you have any questions, go watch the videos I did, do the practice stuff. And I think next week's live, we'll go over all of the neuroscience of practice stuff, which is really fun because I think a lot of people just play. They don't know how to practice in a meaningful way. And that's why I have this guy, that's a tissue, and this guy, and all these little binders and notepads all around me. It's not complicated, it's just simple stuff, but you can do it. All right, with that said, peace out, guys.